The prognosis was poor. The child had been in and out of the hospital for months now. The disease had ravished her immune system. The doctors were at a loss. They checked over the files and the monitoring equipment. Her heart rate was slowing down. He turned to the child's mother.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lawson, but there isn't anything else we can do for your daughter, except to make her comfortable.
No, please, doctor. Surely there's something else. A new treatment, an experimental procedure.
I'll leave you two alone.
He left the room. The little girl gave a weak smile, her favorite Rainbow Friends plushie in her arms.
Hug him tight. He's gonna keep you company until you're all better.
The little girl nodded her head.
Mommy's going to be right here the whole time. I'm never going to leave your side. So you just close your eyes and dream. When you wake up, everything will be a little brighter and better.
The girl smiled and fell asleep, watching her favorite Roblox streamer. The woman awoke to see the doctor pulling the sheets over her daughter.
What are you doing?
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Lawson. She passed away during the night. If it's any comfort, she didn't feel any pain.
What? It can't be. I just spoke to her.
I'll give you a moment. A nurse will be in shortly to talk to you. Once again, my condolences.
She walked over to the bed, her hands trembling, and sat down by her daughter's side. How could this have happened? How could life be so cruel and unfair? She looked at the toy by her daughter's side. And you? What good were you in the end? What comfort did you provide? She grabbed the toy and ripped its head off before throwing it in the garbage. She drove back home, her mind flooded with what-ifs, and had she done everything possible for her daughter? She still couldn't believe she was gone. Just a few months ago, she'd have been sitting in the back seat happily singing or playing with her toys. The car swerved. She pulled to the side of the road and looked into the back seat, but there was nothing there. Was her mind playing tricks on her? She could have sworn she saw that blasted toy in the back seat. She calmed herself down and continued the drive home. What a terrible day it had been. The worst of her life. She walked through the hallway, dropping her keys in the basket. She caught a glimpse of something in the mirror. No, it couldn't be. She quickly looked back, but there was nothing in the reflection. It's just a stress, she told herself. She sat the boxes down in the kitchen and lit the fireplace. She couldn't even think about food right now. She just wanted to curl up under the covers and cry herself to sleep. She made herself a cup of tea and hid it to bed. At least the warm tea was somewhat soothing. She felt sleep coming over her. She had hardly slept the night before and was burnt out from the events and stress of the past months. She hoped she would be able to escape her sadness for at least a few hours in her dreams. She turned off the light and tried to sleep. She looked at the bedside clock. 3 a.m. She had an odd feeling, like something was watching her. The room felt cold. She didn't feel like she was alone. She slowly looked up at the foot of the bed. A shadow was watching her.
Who is that? Who are you?
It stepped forward into the light. That cursed rainbow friend. It was back.
Get out!
She yelled as she grabbed it and ran down the stairs into the living room. She tossed it into the fire.
And stay dead, whatever you are.
As it burnt, she paused for a moment to catch her breath. Had she not thrown it away at the hospital? Did her daughter have more than one? No. She was sure of it. She took a deep breath and hid it back up to her bedroom. She pushed the door open. Her breath caught in her throat. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas one and all! What better way to spend Christmas than finding a killer? Hunt a Killer's Christmas promotion is now on. Imagine Christmas Eve, the whole family gathered around the fireplace. Hot cocoa, gifts, stockings, and a spectral spirit from beyond the grave tormenting the living? More than a board game, immerse yourself with real items and clues to find out what's really out there. Check out the links in the description and use the code Lucius for $10 off to get it just in time for Christmas.
You sure you don't want to just hop in the van?
Nah, Could use the fresh air.
Try not to lose that one.
I didn't lose anything. It was stolen.
Just try not to crash it, alright? Those things don't come cheap.
Yes, Dad.
Attaboy, sport. So you said it started appearing after your daughter passed?
Yes. First I thought I saw it in the backseat of the car, then the hallway. But I wasn't sure.
But later that night?
It was in the bedroom. I threw it in the fire, but when I came back to the bedroom, it was sitting in the bed.
And where is it now?
I stayed down here, so I guess it's still in the bedroom. I hear it knocking on the doors every so often.
Okay, we'll go have a look.
You ready?
For Chucky? Heck no. I've had enough cursed Annabelle experiences to know we should have a priest or something with us.
Well, there isn't. It's just you and me. Now open the door.
You and me, eh? Hey, Chen, you open the door. Sure don't sound like a you and me job.
Well, you just...
Okay. He slowly pushed the door open. Sitting on the bed was the toy.
Hi.
The doll waved back.
We're not here to hurt you. What are you?
It tilted its head to the side. Are you dangerous? The doll made a cross in front of it.
See? What'd I tell you? Harmless.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Oh God, what is it? Is it possessed?
We'll take it back for further investigation, but it doesn't appear to be hostile.
Then why is it tormenting me? Following me everywhere I go?
We'll try to find some answers, but for now, please try to get some rest. See you back at HQ.
Radio. Chen took off on his bike, the van following closely behind.
So, can you talk?
The doll looked at Klaus and vanished before his eyes.
What the?
The driver turned to look back as the cage fell from the table. The van swerved out of control, clipping Chen's bike and sending him sprawling to the ground.
Chen!
What happened?
Bike accident.
Oh no, how bad is it?
There's a bit of swelling in the brain, so he's in an induced coma.
Why have you brought him to me?
I've heard anecdotal evidence that talking to a person in a coma can help bring them back. Who better to enter a person's mind but you?
Well, he is an oaf and a fool, but he's our oaf and fool. Let me see.
The streets were dark and wet. Neon signs lit up above. The boy walked through the streets, seemingly without purpose. He bumped into a man, and within a second he had a knife at the man's throat, his other hand open. The man gave him all his money before the boy let him go. He counted the money. It wasn't much, but it should be enough to satisfy the bosses. As he got older, he graduated from pickpocketing and petty theft to more serious crimes. To become a full-fledged member of the Triad, he'd have to take a life. They sat him down and tattooed the mark of the Triad onto his arm. All that was left now was to perform the kill. The man had taken a loan from the Triad, but hadn't been able to pay it back. They wanted to send a message that they were not a force to be trifled with. Chen held the gun in his hands, considering what had to be done. The men around him pointed at the man, urging him to make the kill. He looked nervously at the people in the room, and then to the gun in his hands. He slowly raised the pistol. A shot rang out, and the man lay dead at his feet.
What is it? What did you see?
I'm not sure. Are you sure he was properly amnesticized?
Of course, I did it myself.
He has his memories, all the way back to his childhood in Hong Kong.
That's not possible.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Maybe they're subconscious, like echoes of a memory.
Perhaps, but enough of this. I think he's starting to come to.
I'll get him to rehab. Thanks, Pythia. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. Lawson. Has the doll been visiting you?
all the time, from the moment you left.
And has it been hostile or shown any signs of violence?
Oh no, we had it all wrong from the start. It doesn't want to hurt anybody. It wants to heal.
The toy suddenly jumped up onto the table.
No!
It can do that, just appear and disappear at will. It took the shape of her favorite toy, I guess, to appeal to me. It's been cleaning up the house, cooking me food, and helping me understand my feelings. Almost like a therapist, you could say.
It speaks?
Well, no, but it can draw and spell just fine. Also made me these pictures. I haven't seen them in years, in fact. I know some of them were lost years ago.
And are you feeling better?
Slowly, yes. It's been helping me slowly heal. It's a blessing.
Well, then that's about it, really. Please try to keep it away from the public and report any events or problems to us immediately. We'll be monitoring you and checking in to make sure that everything is okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hey, Doc.
You should be in bed resting.
I'm fine. Just a little knock to the noggin.
And your vision? Can you see clearly?
Yeah, just a splitting headache.
Did you have any dreams while you were in a coma?
Dreams? Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Anything at all? Childhood? Lost memories?
Nah. Still can't really remember anything from my past.
All right. Well, glad to see you're up and about. I've got a couple things I need to attend to. See you for a coffee later?
You bet.
Jen! Hey, Jen!
What do you want?
Is that any way to talk to an old friend?
You were never a friend.
Fine. But don't forget you owe me a favor, eh? I covered up that tattoo of yours real good, didn't I?
Don't worry. Chen always repays his debts.
I'll keep you to that.
SCP-6485. Object Class: Keter. 6485 is a toy that manifests approximately an hour after one's expiration, often to the deceased's closest family members and friends. It has no fixed appearance, but generally appears as a stuffed animal or doll, typically taking the form of the deceased's favorite toy from their adolescence. 6485 exhibits signs of sapience, is able to move on its own accord, and communicate via a range of gestures or writing. 6485 is also capable of demanifesting and remanifesting itself, which only stops when it deems the subject to have gained closure over the loved one's death. It also does so when a subject actively attempts to harm themselves or experience significant emotional distress. Upon manifestation, 6485 has been observed in its behavior to express affection by bringing items, cooking simple dishes of the subject's preference, as well as forms of hugs and pats. It is also able to produce physical childhood pictures of the deceased's past, even when they were previously destroyed. Prolonged exposure to 6485 will cause the subject's mental state and morale to improve greatly and gain closure faster than people who are not exposed to 6485. 6485 has been deemed safe to remain self-containing as it possesses no threat and greatly improves the mental state and morale of any subject who it interacts with.
The loss of a loved one is a life-changing event. All of us experience this pain differently and heal in our own unique ways. Never be afraid to seek help if it becomes overwhelming. Sometimes, even the simplest hug or shoulder to cry on can make all the difference.
As always, have a care and remember to subscribe, like, and share, if you would. Until next time, farewell.